Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sade. I've been on my fitness journey for about 8 years now. I haven't had a straight path at all. I've started over multiple times. And honestly, each time I've learned something new. So I'm just here to share my journey with you. Not as someone who has it all figured out, but as someone who is still learning and growing along the way. So if you struggle with cravings, if you struggle with binge eating, yes. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so if you struggle with cravings, binge eating, or you feel like you're stuck a lot of the times, you're in the right place. Because you're in the right place. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing how I've been handling my cravings and what's actually been working for me, especially during the winter seasons, because I realized throughout my life, my cravings increase expeditiously. I don't even know if that's the right word, but whatever. When the cold weather hits, because all I want to do is stay inside, sit on my couch, and stuff my face. But we're not doing that this year. We're not doing that in the new year. We got to switch this up. So I'm going to give you some tips that's been helping me fight those cravings. So yeah, so let's get into it. So now let me share a little bit about my personal journey with cravings. For as long as I can remember, I've had intense cravings. I'm talking about since early childhood days. Especially for junk food, like candy, like, I don't know, something about candy. We right here. We shouldn't be, but we right here. Or fast food like McDonald's, girl. Me and McDonald's go together like this. And I remember as a child, I used to say, I want to marry whoever owns McDonald's because I love this so much. And I just feel like the love for McDonald's never left. No one was able to shame me for eating McDonald's. And I don't think today they are still able to. So that's just something I gotta fight off myself. Yeah, so as you are aware, just based on my little story, these are habits that I still struggle with till this day. Yes. I've noticed that these cravings tend to hit when I'm bored. And apparently I'm bored a lot. Or when I'm super stressed, right? I don't go into the office every day, but I do go in twice a week. So when I'm coming home, or even the days that I'm working from home, because I just try to find every excuse. But when I'm coming home from work, I am lazy. I don't want to look at a stove. I don't want to do anything that has to do with me manually making my food. I prefer to just order it. And so I do. And then even when I'm home, like I said, I work from home. I feel super stressed. I just cannot mentally get there to cook me a meal. Like I just don't have the energy. And to be honest, to fight that, I started doing meal prepping because I used to meal prep early on in my fitness, and it worked wonders for me. So I was like, let's get back to that. So the strange thing about me is I can cook food and I'll put it in the fridge. And even now I've ordered meal prep bowls so that I can just put the food, like meal prep the food, so all I gotta do is heat it up. But my brain, this thing right here, the thought of having to heat it up and put it on a plate feels like so much work to me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm just being honest. Like I literally follow the steps or walk through the steps in my brain and I'm like, nope, that's too much work, too much work. I prefer to just order the food. Yeah, that's what my brain convinces me. And I think, again, it's the addiction of wanting these things that my brain's like, yes, let's go to that comfort food. Yeah, I don't know. And the crazy part is when you order this food, it takes forever to get here. So by the time it came or it comes, you could have heated up the food and ate it that was already in your house. I know these things. And yet. But yeah, so I prefer to wait about 45 minutes to an hour for this food to come, which means I'm getting hungrier, which means I am more likely to overeat. So, yeah. And most times, honestly, after I eat, I do feel super guilty. Like, really, like, what is going on with you? Like, I talk down on myself so bad. And I feel like I've messed up, which, you know, it feeds into the cycle that I'm continuously in. I've been stuck in this pattern for a while, as you heard, since childhood. But childhood, you know, I didn't weigh as much. But now that I'm in my 30s, things are sticking on. Like, it ain't dropping like it used to. So I got to put a little bit more effort in. Like I said, I've meal prepped for some time during my fitness journey. So I was doing pretty well for a time. I was. And then I started not caring as much. I don't know exactly what happened. But yeah, something I guess shifted in my life. And I just started not caring as much about what I was eating. So I had no shame. I moved out. I started making money because I got a job. So I'm like, oh, no one can tell me what to eat, what I can't eat. So I'm going to eat what I want, when I want. And now I'm suffering those consequences. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't being healthy at all. Like, don't care about the diseases in terms of like high blood pressure, diabetes. And these things are in my family. But I don't know. I guess I felt like it couldn't hit me. So I wanted to do what I want. And I was like, and I'm young. Who's going to stop me? Now, here I am, uncomfortable in this body. Which is why we're having this conversation today. Yeah, this is, like I said, an ongoing battle. But there are days where I do manage to break the cycle. On the days that I do well, I go to the gym. I come home. I make sure to eat breakfast. Lunch and dinner. So like 3 whole actual meals, like a balanced out meal. And then I love snacks, if you aren't aware. I make sure to have a healthy snack like Greek yogurt with protein granola and or protein shake, depending on if I'm up for it at night. Yeah, like I'm still working out like what other things I actually want to eat. Like I would love to have fruit, but I don't know what's going on in this day and age. I feel like the moment I pick up the fruit and leave the supermarket, and by the time I get home, it is no longer good. So I quit buying fruit, unfortunately, unless it's frozen, but I would love fresh fruit. But for now, Greek yogurt, those are wins for me. Like the day I could do all of that, eat all those meals, and if I want a snack, eat that snack, because there are times when I have unhealthy snacks and I would choose those unhealthy snacks over actually eating a meal or even eating the healthy snacks that I just shared with y'all. So a win is a win for me. But then I have those days that we spoke about earlier. So I'm trying to have more of those win days versus those, I don't want to say lost days, but you know. It's all about balance, right? Taking it one step at a time and making a routine and sticking to it. And it's as simple as that. But I feel like you have to work towards making sure that routine works for you, right? But I do see the difference in my cravings, my energy, and my mood when I do stick to those routines. So what I've tried in the past is completely just cutting out junk food, going cold turkey. But we've seen that just never works because it only makes you want to crave that thing more because now you feel like you're missing out. And people don't like to miss out on things. So that's that. It might work for a little while, but then I personally found myself ended up binge eating even more than I was prior to removing junk food out of my life. So back to square one. At this point, mine, what is it? -10, because now I'm worse off than I started. Yeah. I just realized that trying to cut out things that I enjoyed made me feel deprived of those things. And like I said, it would only make me crave it even more. So I've also tried various diets, such as limiting carbs. I love carbs, so that was a fail from the start. Reducing my calorie intake, starving. I was absolutely hungry. Do not recommend. Well, we could get into that in another video because I'm not saying like it was an egregious amount that was my calories were reduced by. So that's what I mean. Like, I was starving. It was numbers that you should not be doing. It didn't last for me. Maybe a day. I don't think I lasted a day. Maybe I did. Maybe I went to bed early and then the next day I was like, nah. Like, give me everything you got because I am starving. So I don't recommend that. And then I also tried increasing my cardio, right? Like, all right, I'm always hungry. I know now reducing my calorie intake didn't work. Removing junk food didn't work, right? And limiting certain food groups like carbs didn't work. So I hit my brain, I'm like, well, if we increase cardio, you can eat the amount of food you want because now you're burning way more calories. Yes, technically. But again, none of that was sustainable for me. Cardio was not sustainable for me. There was literally always a challenge with anything I tried, and not in a good way, right? I don't recommend cutting a whole food group because our bodies need that to balance. Yeah, something we could talk about in another video if you're interested in learning how to balance out your nutrition. Especially, it would also really help you with your cravings, but also get you to the goals that you're looking to reach. Me specifically is weight loss, or even more specific, body fat. Now with cardio, I used to do the Stairmaster every day. Get on there in 20 minutes, no hands. I was killing it. And I would increase my speed. Yeah, my speed every day. Or not really every day. Like the way I did it, yeah. I would just keep going until I was able to increase my speed while I had no hands on. Killing it. I was like, who touching me? And my figure, like you can tell me nothing. You can tell me anything, okay? But then I got tired of it. Like, one day I just didn't feel like doing it, and so I didn't, and I have yet to be back on there. And in my brain, I really want to do it just because I have a competitive brain, which I am learning now. But yeah, like, I keep guilt tripping, or yeah, is it guilt tripping myself into, you need to get back on that Stairmaster. Like, don't be a failure, don't be a quitter. But I don't want to do it. So yeah. So then, I think like a week later, I was like, oh, let's just get on the treadmill and do an incline. Killing it too. Music in, dancing while I'm walking on an incline. Couldn't tell me nothing. I think I did that for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the day. Then I didn't feel like doing that. Yeah. I realized that cardio just has to be something I'm into, like genuinely into, enough for me to be consistent with it. And the only type of cardio I am consistent with is walking. One, because I have a dog, so I ain't got no damn choice but to bring her outside and walk, and we do that 3 times a week. I mean, whoa, 3 times a day. I actually need to do that soon because she over here giving me the evil eyes. But yeah, that is the thing that worked for me. It is very much an underrated type of cardio. You, by all means, can choose the type of cardio you would love to do. Just make sure it's like, well, yeah, make sure it's something you love to do for you to stick to it. And you can always switch up a cardio, right? Like, you don't have to necessarily do the one cardio for the rest of your life. That sounds ridiculous. But I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyways, yeah. For me, it's just walking outside specifically, because I don't even like walking on the treadmill. Like the incline walk, hello. Even if I was to do it on the, I don't know, 0 incline. No, thank you. I'm ready to just leave the gym. So, yeah. And then one thing I want to say about cardio, right? Like, you don't necessarily have to do cardio. Like, if you want to, by all means do so. Like, I do strength training, so I don't necessarily have to do cardio after I do strength training. I can do cardio on the days that I'm resting, like for active rest day, which for me is walking, right? Because, yeah, it's not a hard requirement, but if that is something you are looking to do, then yeah, my recommendation is to find something that you can be consistent on. I think, honestly, the most important thing for cravings and binge eating is figuring out the foods you really enjoy. Like whole foods. We enjoy junk food, but I don't know if we really do, or if it's just comforting. Like, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, finding the foods you love, but in a healthier way. Okay? So I've said this, I think, on my channel a few times. Like, that is my goal, to find the ways to cook the foods that I truly enjoy, but in a healthy way, because there ain't no damn way that I'm eating bland food for the rest of my life. I need flavor. I love sauce. So those are the things that I'm working on. But yeah, it's all about balance, right? Finding a routine that works for your lifestyle, not forcing yourself into something that doesn't feel sustainable. Say that again. Not forcing yourself into something that does not feel sustainable, because then you won't sustain it. And then we're back at square one. So yeah. So one thing that's been a game changer for me, like I said earlier, is focusing on balanced meals. Focusing on balanced meals. I make sure I'm getting enough protein, healthy fats, fibers, and yes, of course, carbs. Carbs give me the energy I need. I noticed that when I prioritize them properly, I feel satisfied throughout the day, right? And then a helpful tip that I've picked up, and it's something from I got from a trainer on Instagram, is to eat what you typically eat for like lunch and dinner for breakfast. And specifically the high protein types of meals. So I've been testing this out over the last few weeks, and I've noticed that starting my day with protein has helped reduce the sugar cravings tremendously. Instead of having that typical sugary type of breakfast, that very carb heavy type of breakfast, I'm now eating a protein type of meal. And that's also something like you gotta trick your mind out of, because now you feel like you're eating heavy, or you're eating meals that you're supposed to have at lunch and dinner, but for breakfast. So I can say it definitely does make a noticeable difference in terms of fighting those cravings or reducing those cravings. So I think you should try it and let me know how you feel about it. I'm now trying to work on those types of meals, but still make it feel more breakfasty, I guess. Another very subtle but very important point is that has helped me is paying attention to how I feel while I'm eating. So what I do is I slow down the way I eat. We're actually supposed to chew like, I don't know, like 32, 35 times before you actually swallow your food. Random fact, I know. But yeah, I try to slow down and I listen to my body. Am I full? Am I still hungry? Am I just eating out of habit? Because I do that as well. Terrible. Yeah, like I said, it's a very small shift, but it has been a big help in stopping me from overeating. And one trick I found is eating your protein first. Because for me, I cannot drink anything. I know they recommend, or I guess you can drink your water first. You're less like, or for me, I'm less likely to eat as, I don't even know. But yeah, I cannot drink anything while I'm eating. It just doesn't work for me. I end up eating very little and I don't feel like I'm satisfying my body. That was just random. But yeah. Yeah. So I would recommend like try eating all the protein on your plate first. Like, yeah, you could put in some vegetables and carbs while you're doing that, but like really focus on eating that protein first. And if you still feel hungry, then go ahead and try to finish your carbs or until you feel satisfied, because we shouldn't be eating until we're full. We should be eating until we're satisfied, which is right before being full. So that I would say, yeah, slow down your eating and try to pay attention to how you feel when you're eating. And that will be such a tremendous help. Also, I know everything is just pointing to this one food group, but I've also learned that a lot of the time when I am craving those sugary foods, it's actually because I am low on protein. So clearly I've been low on protein for some time in my life. But yeah, our bodies are super smart. It's actually fascinating. I'm gonna stop before I start rambling about our bodies. Like, I'm just so into, I've always been into like anatomy and everything, but yeah. Yeah, they let us know what we need when we need it, right? But we don't always recognize those signals. When I'm reaching for candy, or junk food, I like to now try and pause and ask myself, like, do I really want this? Or do I just need to eat an actual meal that's really like protein heavy, right? And more often it is get that meal. Like, put the candy down and get that meal. And then this one right here is very important because you only get one like this. So I've stopped banning certain foods altogether. Instead of telling myself I cannot have something like candy, like them fries at McDonald's, I allow myself to have small indulgences of it, right? If I'm craving an oatmeal raisin cookie, oh my God, I love an oatmeal raisin cookie. But yeah, if I want an oatmeal raisin cookie, I let myself have one and move on. Because guess what? If I tell myself no, I'm gonna tell you right now, before that night is up, I'm gonna eat that whole box. So when I want that oatmeal raisin cookie, I'm gonna let myself have that one oatmeal raisin cookie. Just one. Just one. Yeah. And you should have no shame. You should have no guilt, because you're not eating the entire package of that, you know, I don't know, that treat, I guess, right? Or whatever it is that you're craving. If you want a McDonald's meal, I know at this point I need to stop, but have it that one time. But it should, like, you need to learn like how often you can have things, so you can have it that one time for that week, not that day. Because you're not going to get a McDonald's meal every day. No. So make sure when it comes to like meals and stuff, like, you know, like once 1 to 2 times a week. And then snacks, you know, I gotta work on that. Maybe 3 to 4 times, because it's like one, right? A meal is a higher calorie intake versus a dessert. Maybe it's not, it depends on the dessert, but at least the desserts I like. It don't carry that many carbs. Calories. That's really it. It's all about moderation, if I'm being honest with you. Just give yourself the permission to enjoy the foods that you truly do like, without going overboard. Because what will happen is you'll start to enjoy eating the healthier foods per se, because now you're able to, come on, help me out. You're able to enjoy those foods you were eating more than you should have on the daily and weekly basis. Now you've been able to balance it out and moderate how often you can have it, and you're still hitting your goals. So you're getting the best of all worlds. The key is to finding what works for you, honestly, and just sticking to it. It's, like I said, it's all about routine. I would love to hear from you. Like, what has helped you manage your cravings? Please share some tips in the comments, so that we can all learn from each other, right? Because this is a community for us to all learn and grow together. And also, if you try any of the tips and recommendations that I've shared in this video, please also comment below and let me know how has that worked for you, because I would love to hear about that. Thanks so much for watching this video, and if you found this helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Say bye, booby. Oh, where is she? Okay. Winter. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. She fed up. You ready to go outside? All right, I gotta go, y'all. Bye.